New information revealed in the Bryan Kohberger case.
And how Democratic representatives reacted to President Trump's first joint address, coming up on Murrow News 8.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Hello, I'm Emily Schmalz.
And I'm Seth Stern. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
Bryan Kohberger's attorneys confirm his autism spectrum disorder diagnosis. His lead attorney, Ann Taylor, says if he is sentenced to death for the murder of the Idaho 4, that it would be against the 8th Amendment right to be free from excessive punishment due to his autism. Taylor says Kohberger is incapable of acting socially normal, and if sentenced, she is concerned he will be executed because of his diagnosis.
Today, the Idaho Senate voted to make firing squad the state's primary method of execution following a 28-7 vote. House Bill 37 now heads to the governor's desk and, if signed, would make Idaho the only state in the U.S. to use it as their primary method of execution. The bill would go into effect July 1st of 2026.
The Idaho House State Affairs Committee voted to advance a resolution which would allow residents to vote on if the legalization of marijuana should be under the legislature's control rather than through another ballot initiative. The resolution will need 2/3 support from the House and the Senate to pass.
The Idaho House Health and Welfare Committee has advanced Bill 345 aimed at containing Medicaid costs, sending it to the House floor for a vote. This development follows previous legislation efforts to address Medicaid expenses, including a bill introduced by Representative Jordan Redmond. The current bill represents a solution to manage Medicaid costs without triggering a repeal of the expansion.
President Trump gave his first joint address to Congress last night. His address was marked by protests from Democratic representatives, with some being removed from the chamber for leaving voluntarily. The following day, the Supreme Court rejected Trump's request to freeze $2 billion in foreign aid.
WSU is preparing for new financial challenges as President Donald Trump's order, which reduces National Institutes of Health grant dollars by 15%, cuts nearly $5 million in annual WSU research funding. With that, Washington State Governor Bob Ferguson wants to cut higher education state funding by 3%. Due to these changes, WSU is expecting a budget cut of up to 10% for this upcoming year.
Today is Ash Wednesday, a holy day of prayer and fasting in many Western Christian denominations. St. Thomas Catholic Coug Center will be hosting a Mass and a distribution of ashes tonight at 7 p.m. All students are welcome. Construction
on I-90's Vantage Bridge has begun once again. According to WSDOT, drivers can expect reduced lanes with only one lane open in each direction along a 9-foot width restriction. WSDOT also said that those traveling should seek alternative routes, especially on Fridays and Sundays.
Coming up, we have our nature explorer, BG, and he will bring you the latest in weather and what to expect from the night sky.
Howdy folks, it's Emmett Brisgornia here at the Dry Fork Creek Nature Area, where it's perfect weather for me to go fish. We got a high of 48 and a low of 29 today with minimal wind speeds, and even though it looks like not many of the fish are biting right now, it's going to be a beautiful day to catch a night sky. If you look to the south, you'll see the constellation of the Winter Hexagon that makes up stars of Sirius and Regal that also happen to make up the constellation of Orion and his dogs. Now, look into next week, we have some really cosmic events going on. We're going to see a blood moon. What that is it's the full moon of March, where it also happens to be a lunar eclipse, so the moon's going to look orange. Now, Macy, how's the weather looking like for me, though, going fishing later on in the week?
Thanks, Emmett. The weather's going to be pretty sunny these upcoming days. So today we have a high of 48 degrees and a low of 29 here in Pullman. Pretty sunny conditions, gorgeous day out. I've heard from my fellow peers over here. Moving on to tomorrow's forecast, we can expect, well, I'm waiting for it to pop up, but we can expect another pretty similar standing of a high of 49 degrees and a low of 29 degrees. Also staying in those similar sunny conditions, so make sure to go catch those rays outside while you can. Moving on to our state map, or our 5-day forecast. Moving on to our 5-day forecast, we have Thursday, tomorrow, high of 49, low of 29, like I said. And then over here on Friday, we have a high of 51 and a low of 31 degrees, so a little bit warmer as we can expect it to go on. Saturday, we have a high of 55 and a low of 36. And tomorrow, we have a high of 49 and a low of 29. Don't know what's happening with our graphics over here, guys, but overall we can expect a pretty sunny forecast moving forward, like I said. Little partly cloudy heading into the weekend as we're going along, but yeah, now moving to our state map, we have high of 59 over here, 52 over here in Olympia, pretty warm, like I said. I'm going to wrap it up here and back to you guys at the desk.
Yeah, thank you. Coming up, both the women's and men's WCC basketball tournament kicks off tomorrow.
And the Seattle Seahawks making moves earlier this morning. Coming up next on Murrow News 8.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Hello everyone, my name is Evan Suarez and this is your sports. The WSU women's team had an astounding 5 players earn all WCC honors, starting with senior guard Tara Wallach as she earned all WCC first team honors after averaging 13.2 points per game while also recording 58 block shots. Sophomore guard Eleanora Villa received all WCC second team. Freshman Charlotte Abraham and Diana Mendez both landed a spot on the all WCC freshman team, and junior guard Estera Tahina received a WCC honorable mention. Now moving on from the all WCC honors that the women received, as the WCC tournament kicks off tomorrow, the women's team has earned a double bye, playing their first game on this upcoming Sunday. Action will kick off tomorrow between 10-seed Pepperdine and 11-seed San Diego, where the winner of that game will play 7-seed Pacific, who will then take on the 6-seed San Diego, and finally, the winner between those two will take on the Cougs Sunday at 2 p.m. Now moving on from women's to the men's basketball team, 3 players received awards on the team, starting off with freshman Tomas Thrasterson, as he received a spot on the all-WCC freshman team. Junior guard Nate Calmise and sophomore forward LaJuan Watts each earned an honorable mention. Now, from moving on to the WCC men's basketball tourney, the Cougs have earned themselves a bye and will play their first game on this upcoming Saturday. Kicking off the action tomorrow, 10-seed Pacific takes on 11-seed San Diego, and the winner of that game will take on 7-seed Loyola Marymount University, with the winner of that game taking on the 6-seed Washington State Cougs Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Washington State is extending men's basketball coach David Riley and women's basketball coach Kimmy Etheridge's contracts by an additional year. With the extensions, both coaches are locked down through the 2030 through 31 basketball season. WSU baseball has their first home series this weekend at Bailey Brayton Field starting this Friday at 4:05 p.m. versus Seattle University. The Cougs are not off to the best start, posting a 3-9 record and are looking to hopefully turn that around this weekend. Now, a sad day for Seahawks fans as 10-season veteran receiver Tyler Lockett was just released this morning. During his amazing career with the Seahawks, Lockett has left his mark in the franchise record books, recording the second most receptions, yards, and receiving touchdowns of all time behind the Seahawks great Steve Largent. Now, more news coming out of the receiver room over there in Seattle as star receiver DK Metcalf earlier this morning has requested a trade, preferably to a contending team. The two-time Pro Bowler made his trade request this morning after a series of rumors and conversations that were being held over the past couple of weeks. Metcalf is coming off a 66-catch, 992-yard, and 5-touchdown season.
Spring break is coming up with many students traveling.
So, plan for heavy traffic on your way out of Pullman this weekend.
It feels like no matter where you look, the state of the world's getting worse. Oceans full of plastic, an endless amount of waste, an impossible task ahead of fixing our beloved planet. But change can't happen if you do nothing. So here's where you should start. Reduce. Why? Because Americans produce more than 200 million tons of waste every year, and you don't want to add to that. Reuse. Why? Because reusing and repurposing cuts back on unnecessary waste, and it gives things a chance at new life. Recycle. Why? Because recycling creates jobs. It helps our community and it helps our planet. And after doing all this, what will we be left with? We'll be left with a planet that will slowly start to heal. We'll be left with more money in our pockets. We'll be left with more opportunity for work. And most importantly, we're left with hope for the future. So reduce, reuse, recycle.
As a reminder, spring break is right around the corner. If you are driving back to the west side, the Vantage Bridge will be closed to one lane. Expect delays when trying to cross 26 to I-90. Expect a higher police presence as well as traveling to and from spring break. Travel safe, Cougs. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I am not excited to cross that bridge over spring break. I know many of us are doing it. What are you guys doing over spring break?
I will also be making the trip over the bridge. Not excited to pass it either, but gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I feel like the only one of us that is not going to have to go over the bridge is our lucky person over here, Macy. She's not going to have to deal with that one-lane Vantage Bridge.
I'm not. The only bridge I have to deal with over break is the Blue Bridge, so thank the Lord for that, I guess. But good luck, you guys. Travel safe.
very much.
What are you going to do?
You know what? That's a great question. I think I'm just going to relax, take my time, watch everyone else hopefully travel safe, go to Cabo maybe, Arizona. I feel like those are the popular spring break destinations I've been hearing about this year. So, yeah. You guys going anywhere fun?
Just to see mom and dad.
I'm going to a cabin with my boyfriend.
Ooh, where's that at?
Metau. It's a very small town. I don't think a lot of people have heard of it, but it'll be raining. So that's super fun. What are you doing?
Sounds like spring.
I might be making the trip up to Canada as we really haven't had anything planned out for this spring break. Probably the only spring break we haven't really had much, but if anything, make a couple day, few night trip up there to BC and just try to figure something out up there. It's always fun to kind of cross the border. Hopefully it's not too long, but I don't think it should be if we go on like Monday night.
Yeah, I went to Arizona last year personally.
Did you?
So that was definitely fun. All right, thank you for watching Murrow News 8. You can follow us on our socials at Murrow_news_8. Have a good night.